I'm rotating through. I'm going to supinate, come to my closed position, guarding all of my internal organs. Again, I'm coming back this way. Look at the pinky. It's leading through, and I open it up. I don't always have to chamber. I can cut in half, rotate, cut back in half. 5 tends to be our thrusting motion. So we're looking at the impact weapon. Obviously, this has a little bit more of a tip with it. Okay, these don't hold up so well when you start bashing them against each other's, okay, like baton on baton, right? And that's why you usually see people train stick versus stick. But let's just break down some basics what we're doing here. We have vertical strikes, right, from basically 12 to 6 on the clock, okay? If I'm coming in from my right side, I'm right-handed, I'm coming around on a 45-degree angle down, and come back to my chamber position, and again, come down. So those are typically referred to as angles 1 and 2, okay? When I cut somebody in half, I cut in half, boom, I cut in half. If I choose to go up, I'm cutting up, cutting up. So really, if you've seen what we've done now is we've drawn that star. What we're really trying to do though is if I'm holding a stick or if I'm holding a weapon, what I'm trying to do is connect it into my body as much as I can. So if I load my weight into that front leg using my previous training, I make my rotation happen with my body, then the end of the stick is like a whip as it strikes out. The most common strikes you're going to probably be dealing with if they're right-handed are this angle 1, okay, or in the system I teach the angle 6, okay. Upward strikes are very rare. The way I like to think of it when I hold a stick or baton is I have weight in my hand. So it's almost like I have a weighted fist. So it's like I'm training my hook punch, my cross punch. But when I have the stick takes priority of that. But the body mechanics are the same. So I'm rotating my body, rotating my body. The number one thing that I have happen with students is they break the wrist. And there's 2 schools of thought to this. I believe in both. But one requires a massive amount of forearm strength. The other requires just your natural body to squeeze as hard as you can into the pinky, okay? You'll learn this if you ever cut through like dead pigs or something with a machete or a knife, as I learned when I actually cut a dead pig and I disarmed myself because I was cracking or breaking the wrist. So what I want you to think of is actually leading with your pinky. So as I'm coming out here, I'm leading with the pinky. I'm still stretching that arm out as far as I can. But if you notice, I'm not doing this, where I'm reaching out and then breaking the wrist, okay, and coming forward just to make that cut. If you're strong enough and you can hit a bag at full power and just crack it, and the bag doesn't rebound and hit you back in the head, good, you have a strong enough stick. Or sorry, a strong enough grip for your stick. Take that translation and start cutting something, right, and see if you're still able to do it. Whenever I'm training as a stress response. Usually when somebody's holding a weapon, they're squeezing as tight as they possibly can. So if I'm holding as tight as I can here, I want that power to be in my pinky. And now you see my wrist won't really break, but I can have loose fingers. That allows some of the tension to leave my body. So when I'm making that rotation, watch my pinky. My pinky's leading it all the way through the cut. This also guarantees that when I transfer my training from a stick or baton into a knife, that the knife is always pointed at the bad guy. I don't like it when that knife points towards me or points in directions that they don't need to be. So if I need to thrust, I can come back and thrust right away. So I take that concept as I rotate. Now here I'm just going to abanico. Abanico, just think a fanning motion, supin. Half. 5 tends to be our thrusting motion. We can get specific about thrusting to this side or thrusting to this side, but if we just label thrust as a 5, it'll help us understand what we're talking about. When it comes to blocks, perpendicular angle is really what you're looking for, no matter what is coming at you. So if somebody was trying to cut me in half, I'm just going to turn my body to the side. I like to canter this slightly forward because the impact coming in is going to bring it back to this position compared to holding it here and then coming back this way and possibly hitting myself. So again, my blocking is the same as my striking. I'm just rotating my body, rotating it back, rotating my body, rotating it back. If it comes in the upper corner, I can block here. With that being said, if it comes to the upper corner, I can block here. It's the same thing, the same concept. All it's just going to do is change where your arm goes, and that's going to depend on what you do for defense. So if I'm blocking here, I can come here. I can come to this side. I can come here. I can come here. I can do my umbrella block. I can train to come back to the other side. There's a lot of different ways that you can block. The way that I'm going to explain how to defend with a stick is going to be more about movement than necessarily about using lots of fancy Filipino martial arts stuff, which totally works, but it's a whole nother martial art that you're going to want to train in. So just take your basics. Just think of it. If I'm doing my striking with my hands, hook punch, cross punch. It's all the same stuff. Angle 1, angle 2, block, block. Learn to master your body. Everything else becomes nice and simple. When you're holding the weapon, some styles choose to maybe have 4 fingers here. Other styles choose to have 1 or 2 fingers here. I don't care. What I care about is I can hold onto my weapon as hard as I can. I know I've trained with it enough. I feel comfortable bringing it out to the fight. But that's a whole nother conversation we'll have later. Basics of striking. Play with it. Have fun.